As I hope you saw on the last video, I finished up most of the large metal work, putting all the new floor pans in, rear seat pan, and then this cross member here. Of course, a couple videos before that, got all the brace work in for the trunk. So if you haven't seen those, check out those videos. But now, this week, what I'm working on 1 hour at a time after I do my day job is on the roof and around the windshield and the rear window. It is rusty and Bondo in the window channels for the windshield and for the rear window. Of course, not right here because this is my new quarter, but it's definitely rusty in this rear window channel as well. I found a company that makes it. I already filmed that part of the video, so I will cut to it. Here they are. Shipping came in fine. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces for the back. I ordered 2 pieces for the front. So these would be the parts that I'm working with. They've got nice labels on them, tell you where they go, good instructions. Let's start fitting these up and putting them on. Made some progress. I have cut the roof panel, what was left of it, away from the inside brace, and then removed the bottom part of the roof skin. So this is all one piece, comes down, makes a 90, and then it's spot welded to this brace. So I had to go through and try to remove it without destroying this brace because no other reason other than I just don't want to replace the brace. So if I can salvage it, I will. So this is all actually just brace here, and then this is where I'll be making my repair, and then I will spot weld back or plug weld back, however you want to call it, to this inner brace. But I think I'm going to call it for the day. Got a birthday party to go to, so I'm going to need to go shower up. But that's the back. This is the front. I tried it with the cut wheel right here, and unfortunately that was not the method, so I'm going to have to repair this little strip here. But the rest of it went to the good old way, and it worked. But you can definitely tell on the front, since this metal has got a longer span and doesn't have corners in it, you can tell it's not connected anymore. So I'm going to go all the way up and have to cut up to this edge. I need to wait till my new panel comes in to see how much room I have to cut out. But I'm gonna have to do a little bit of repair right here on the edge. It looks like somebody previously tried that, and it had Bondo covering it. So, you know, worst case scenario, I can go back into that, but we'll see how thin it is. I'll get in there. Same thing here. This edge is starting to get ate up a little bit, so I'll have to kind of get in behind here, and otherwise I'd have to get like a planishing hammer and try to mold a new panel out, because this has got multiple curves. So I don't know. Anyways, yes, this is the update. Got these panels off. That is a small portion of the metal that got cut out. As you just saw, I just spent, I think it was about 2 hours or so. When I do the time lapse, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, it's about a minute per second. So sometimes I'll clip out some time, but if it's just a straight run through, it gives you an idea about how long I'm messing with it. So that was like a 2-minute clip, so that was about 2 hours. And I'm sure I cut some out of it, so it might be a little less. But this is what I come up with so far. It's kind of the rough fitment. So here's kind of the overview of it. Just massaging it in a little bit, cutting here, cutting there. Of course, this metal can all be tweaked and moved a little bit at a time. So some pieces are like perfect how I want it, and then other pieces need to be pushed in, like right here. Kind of just have 2 clamps holding it. As you can see, these 2 corners are sticking out a little bit too far, but then it's kind of perfect right there and perfect right there. So that might be stuff that I just kind of do as I tack the metal in, pushing it in. So I'll have to see how that works. But that's kind of the rough idea of how it's going to fit in there. This is the driver's side because the car is up on its side. Driver's side panel, I only use that much. Had a lot of leftover extras, but he only sold it from here down to here, and I've got new quarters, so this is all new anyway. So I only needed this little corner here. I needed both sides of the top, so I used the majority of that coming up to this seam, and they overlap quite a bit. I think that was about how high it originally went, so you got about an inch or 2 to work with. Got the seam pretty close here. onto the passenger side, like again, this is sticking out, so I'm gonna have to bend and massage that a little bit and kind of work my way around and get it flush. Really had a very small piece on this one, so that piece right there cost me 40 bucks roughly to get that entire panel, and I only needed that little piece. So I probably could have just made that piece myself, but I didn't know what I needed, so being that I don't do this every day, I figured it was worth getting the part and just starting with it. Going back, I probably wouldn't have bought that one because it's just kind of a waste of money. But for whatever reason, this quarter was longer, and then they cut that quarter down shorter, so not sure why, but that's how it was, so that's what I'm dealing with. So I kind of got it roughly clamped in place. I'm going to take those off and then start the treating process inside there. Go ahead and get that coated with OSPO so I can kind of go through my treating and painting and all that protection while I have a nice large opening to get in behind here on the back side of the brackets for the roof. But I'll go ahead and spray that before I take a break for lunch, and that will, while that's drying and doing its thing, I'll just move to the front and start doing the same thing. So I'm still working back and forth, slowly treating it as I go. So after lunch, we will start working on this side. A little faster at this each time, like anything. Do it for the first time, it takes a while. Get a little bit better each time I do it. So the experience I gained on the back window kind of let me get a good idea of what I needed to do on the windshield here. So, and of course I was only working with 2 pieces versus the back window was 4, so obviously that would take more anyway. But I think I've got this thing fitted. It's been about an hour really, and of course it's rough, it's not like perfect, but just as far as getting it, the majority of it cut down and fitted how I want, so that I can take this back off and kind of start the same process, treating the metal beneath it or underneath of it. I sprayed the back with weld through primer this morning to go ahead and get that coated, so I can probably start on that next. But here, I'll take you off the stand here and let you look a little bit better idea of what I got going on. Passenger side. It's rough, it's not my final product, but like right here you can see a little bit of a gap. Hopefully you can see it, but that's just the roof panel. Push it in, gap closes. So that's what I got going on to the driver's side. Still kind of need to figure out what I'm going to do with this corner, since the roof skin's got some, of course, thin spots. I don't really know yet what I'm going to do. I know putting this metal in will give me a bunch of strength and kind of give me something to base this corner off of, versus just kind of going in here and cutting it. I don't really know where I'm going. So if I can get this fitted really good and be satisfied with it and get it tacked in, then I can decide whether I'm going to cut this piece of metal out and try to make my own, or figure out what I'm going to do with that. I'm not real sure yet. I don't know. The entire thing was filled with Bondo, which isn't the worst thing in the world. It's just the body, but it'll only last for a certain amount of time. But that's anything. So I don't know. I'm gonna do some more thinking on this patch, figure out what I want to do with it. But that's the worst of it. It's a little bit more finesse in this part of the project. The rest of it was kind of just like slam and jam, move quickly, learning, which was cool. This is I'm trying to take a little bit more care doing this one because I know the windows have to go in and they have to be fitted correctly. So hopefully I'm setting myself up for success. Future me can look back and go, man, you idiot, why didn't you do this? But not only am I not doing this car perfect, I'm just trying to get it and make it a runner and driver. I'm also learning a lot of this stuff for the first time on this car. Like, I've never done this trim before. I've never had a car on a rotisserie before. Never replaced floor pans before. So it's kind of a learning process too, which is fun. I enjoy learning new stuff. So that's it. I'm going to sit out here and procrastinate a little bit, try to get a game plan together, and then probably start tacking this in. Wish me luck. Got some new metal in here now. Starting to look a little bit better. I just got it tacked in. I mean, I guess more than tacked in, but just I haven't fully welded it. How about that? I just went through and cleaned everything up, so I've got like a tack there. So I don't know, maybe every 2 inches, 1 inch. So I'm not completely welded up, but it was in there solid. So I took this opportunity to clean everything up really well, or as good as I'm going to, I guess, however you want to put it. But I got all the metal in, happy with how it fits. Here's the seam between the two. Coming up to the passenger side, I got a little thin here on the edge, so I just put one in and left it alone. So I'll just come back in and hit one and then spend a lot of time off of it, hit another one. That way I don't have a bunch of heat there and don't blow some holes. There was that little tiny piece I was telling y'all about. Sorry there's Bondo dust everywhere because I just got a little overzealous and started cleaning up this corner, and found one more little spot right there I'll have to tinker with, but the rest of it looks pretty solid. Cleaned up those two big old spot welds that the guy had, and then this seam, cleaned that up as well. So yeah, there's the new metal inside the car. That's good feeling. That rot out of there, nice and solid. So that is cool. Do a little research online real quick and see if it's completely necessary to weld the entire seam. I'm pretty sure most of the videos I've seen, everybody welds the entire seam, which would make sense. It just sounds like a pain going through and tacking the entire thing, but if it's got to be done, it's got to be done. Not sure if I will be filming the windshield before or after Christmas. Right now it is the 23rd of December, and sorry it's taking me so long to put these videos up, but I'm going to try to get a little bit closer to when I'm filming versus when you are seeing it. But as of right now, it's 2 days till Christmas, so I probably won't have time to get back out here until after Christmas, but we'll see. If I don't see you guys, Merry Christmas. Hopefully it went well for you. This is my first Christmas with a child. We had my daughter not too long ago, so this is going to be a fun Christmas. Looking forward to it. She's still super young and won't remember it, but at this age, I guess it's more for us. So looking forward to that. Yeah, I'll catch y'all in about 10 seconds, and it'll either be right before Christmas or right after Christmas. Okay, a little story time before we get started this morning. Remember I was telling you just a few seconds ago for you guys that it was Christmas, 2 days before Christmas. Turn my heat on here, it's a little chilly in the shop. Oh, I guess random too, in case you're wondering. That's how I'm heating my shop. Infrared unit. It's hard piped into a large tank outside that we use for our home. That thing is awesome. It does wonders. I had it mounted down low, moved it up out of the way because I need the wall space. I turn that thing on, it's got a little thermostat up top. I just use a little step stool because I don't only use it for part of the year, so it's nice to have it out of the way. Keep a fan over here, then I turn on with a little switch, and I guess I can post that stuff on my storefront if you want to look at it. I'll put the switch under garage items, but it keeps the shop really nice and warm. So random little bit of information there. But yeah, back to story time. It was 2 days before Christmas when I filmed the last one, so I wasn't sure I was gonna be able to get back out here, but I did. Part of the story time is right after I filmed that video, went inside, spent the evening inside, and right before I went to bed, I don't know why, but I rubbed my eye and I kind of thought, oh, that didn't feel good. Maybe I just kind of irritated my eye. Went to sleep, woke up Christmas Eve morning, and my eye was hurting bad. I was like, man, I think I got something in my eye. Went in the bathroom mirror, looked at it, a little black speck right in the center of it. I was like, man, I tried all day long to get that little thing to come out. You know, did the Q-tip, the eye drops, you know the deal. If you work out in the shop, you've had something in your eyeball. All day messed with it, but it wasn't like bad enough where I needed to go right then. So I was like, well, I'll schedule something for today, which is the day after Christmas. Stayed in my eye and irritated me all Christmas Eve, Christmas morning. I was like, man, this sucks. Well, about like midday Christmas, my eye started feeling a lot better, and I was like, hopefully it's come out, but I didn't check it. Anyways, long story short, I was chatting with a family member, and I was telling him I had gotten something in my eye. And he wanted to see it, so I kind of showed him where it was at. And he's like, I think it's gone. I'm like, dude, I hope you're right. So I went into the bathroom, checked it. Sure enough, it was gone. So happy Christmas, Merry Christmas to me. I did not have to schedule an eye doctor appointment first thing this morning. So super stoked about that. And if y'all work in the shop, you know what I'm talking about. So a little brief note on eye safety, even though this isn't probably the best story, but every year I have at least one moment where I get something in my eyeball and I gotta go. And I was really bad at first. I wouldn't wear glasses very often and I would get like a projectile. And I've had like a couple bad experiences with it where like a little sliver of metal in there, going to the eye doctor, they have to like pluck it out. So I said to myself this year, I was like, man, I am going to put my glasses on, especially with a project like this. As soon as I come out here, I film like a video for you guys. I'll take my glasses off, but I'll always throw these on. And I leave these jokers on the entire time I'm out here. And like even when I'm welding, I keep them on underneath the welding shield and just try to forget that I have them on so that I don't get projectile in it. So this time I didn't get a projectile in it, but I'm assuming it was like sitting on my eyelash. So when I rubbed my eyelash that night, I hadn't cleaned it off very well and it just dropped in. But long story short, wear your safety gear. It'll at least keep you from getting those projectiles in there, and then clean your face really good and, you know, wet rag, get all that debris out of your eyes, because that is something you can't get back, is your eyesight. So try to keep that in mind when you guys are working out in the shop. It seems goofy and silly to have, especially for the younger guys out there. I know you're like, you know, safety squints. That's fun and games until it actually happens to you. So wear your eyeglasses. Wow, that looks a lot better than it did. Pretty cool. Hopefully you got a chance to see some of it. Looks like it took me about 2 hours to do. I'll try to get the light on here so you can see it. If you can't see it with the light, I'll scan it again without the light. It's hard to tell on this little screen what you can see and what you can't see, but I've got everything welded, the entire seam, and all new metal now, so it looks a lot better than it did. Solid all the way through, welded my seam all the way through. Now this corner, I'm sure you probably maybe make a gauge or something to get it perfect, and I'll probably do that later. But as far as metal work, I think this is where I'm going to stop. You know, as far as like adding metal, taking away metal. I think the rest of this seam, and when I say seam, I mean like as this rounds over the corner, which is right where I put that weld, and kind of goes down flat. I got it as uniform as I could get without taking away too much metal. I think the idea here is that once I get to the bodywork phase of like paint bodywork, I'll probably skim this entire section with a really thin coat of Bondo, and then I can make me like a little, I guess you'd call it like stencil or key that fits the angle that I want to have right here, as close to stock as I can get it. And once I get that, I can make it out of like a piece of wood so that it's nice and flat, and I can put sandpaper on it, and with that thin coat of Bondo, I can take that sanding block that I made that will get this perfect radius, or a uniform radius I should say, and make this look nice and straight and doesn't grab the eye to it, you know what I mean? Because you'll have a little bit of waviness, but if I can sand this out with some Bondo and make it look pretty uniform, I think it'll look a lot better. But I'm just happy to have that, all that new metal in there. It's a far cry from what it used to look like. You know, this was just like, it won't even hold. It just breaks off. That's what I started with, so that's a good feeling. Yeah, I got the spray through primer put on the front, so after lunch it will probably be me coming in here and getting these fitted really nicely, the best I can again, and tacking these in place. Not too bad for a Christmas break. Making small progress on this thing, but every time I make small progress, it's one step closer. So if you're out there tinkering with yours, or avoid tinkering with it, just go out and pick something small and do it. That's one less thing you have to do overall. So keep plugging away at it. Well, I am just about out of gas for the welder. Just noticed that this morning, so I went ahead and did what I could. As you can see, she's pretty low. So before I start getting into some issues, especially in this intricate part for me anyways, I figured I'd stop after I got it tacked up, and it's Friday, day after Christmas, so I just called. They'll be open until 5, so I might as well go ahead and go get it filled up so I can continue working on it through the weekend. But here's it tacked in. Got pretty good fit, nice and flush. I haven't obviously done anything, just welded it right to it, haven't ground anything down. I hit every other plug weld, and learning what I figured out from the back, I definitely concentrated a lot more heat and got penetration there, so I was happy with that. So live and learn. So I'm gonna leave this like it is, probably go get some gas real quick, probably work on another video, so hopefully I can post it before the end of the year, and then start back on this first thing tomorrow morning. Can't ever remember if the gas is reverse thread or regular thread. I don't change the cylinder enough to really remember. Well, in case you're wondering, at least my tank is regular thread. Righty tighty, lefty loose. case you're wondering, I'm using 25% CO2 and 75% argon. The MIG setup, and I'm running, I think, 023 wire. Why you got to drive them. Guess the battery's getting a little weak on that one. Can't complain. I've never put a battery in this since I owned it, so figured I'd take the old 63 Fleetwood out. Let's see how it does, or hopefully it just does how it should. But yeah. Good old 63. She's been a good rig for me. Only problem is I don't have anywhere to put my camera. Got nowhere good to hook this baby up. So how are you guys gonna know that I drove my 63 if I don't take it and take a video of it? I don't know. I guess I'll just hold it for a second. Anyway, yeah, here's my 63. It needs a full interior because it's just old. But everything works on it. Power windows, vent windows, all that stuff works. So it's hard to complain about it. But let's see, windshield wipers. Oh yeah, they work. We'll leave it at that. Let's probably stop and get a little bit of fuel, and then we'll go get some gas. Well, change of plans, heading back to the house. I just cut the car off to get gas. I've been here for about 30 minutes. I got a bad ground, I'm thinking, maybe on the battery, because I have my jump box still with me, but the cable going from the battery back down to the frame was not grounding how it should. So I finally got to the point where I got the cables hooked up on the battery enough to transfer some power to just barely get the car to turn over. And that poor starter, I just laid into it hard with low voltage, and finally it got up enough momentum to get the car going. So I think I'm fine now that I got the car going, but I ain't gonna take a chance. It looks like I need to do new battery and new cables on this thing. You know, that's like the first time this thing's ever given me any problems, so I can't complain. Okay, so let's take something a little more reliable. Old car stuff, you gotta love it. Whew. Well, that was a bit of a fiasco. If I didn't explain it well enough, I think the battery terminals are either bad, going bad, or the actual cables themselves are going bad. They look pretty rough, and they're original to me owning the car. So, not the car's fault, but once I got it running again at the gas station, I decided I ought to just come back home, take something a little more, or a little less old, I should say. So, took my Suburban instead. Got It's all physical. And yep, it did fine, like normal. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna hook this back up. It's late because that whole excursion took a while. So I'll get cracking back tomorrow on finishing the welds on the windshield and grind everything down. And I don't know, we'll have to figure out what the next step is, but that might be the end of this video, so we'll see. Also, side note, I wanted to mention, in case you're wondering or don't know, I asked the guy while I was up there, how low can I run this tank before I kind of lose pressure and stuff like that. And of course, it really depends on what your gauge is set to, but for what I'm using it for, you know, I'm not really using that much gas out the gauge. Right now, the full tank's got around 2,000. They said you can run down as low as 100 psi, you shouldn't have any problems, and sometimes even lower if you really need it. I was at about 400, so I probably left some on the table and I don't get any money back. So that's kind of unfortunate, but at least I know now. I can run it a little bit lower than what I had. I probably could have made it through the weekend and just got it next week, but I'll try to remember that. So just a heads up in case you're messing with it. All right, another 2.5 hours or so on this one. I got them all welded in. Still got a little bit of work on the roof to do, but for the time being, this is what I got. As you just saw, finished working up on the windshield. This is what I ended up with. Fresh metal all the way across. Ended up with a nice, pretty straight line for the roof. Hard to really tell on camera, but again, just like the last one, even if it's not perfectly straight, I'll put a light skim of Bondo on it, make me a little key, and straighten that out over a long period so that it doesn't have any waviness to it, or minimizes the waviness to it. But there it is. Front welded in, back welded in. Looking pretty sharp if I don't say so myself. That was another big step of completely rotten metal. And on this side, I'm still not sure if I'm going to put a patch on it or not. I'm not sure what to do there. I'll probably end up just cutting out a little patch and put it in there and try to get it as close as I can, but that's what I got. I think the only real metal I need to replace, like I said once before, is those little pieces right behind the tire right here. Got to replace that. But I'm gonna say this is probably good for this video. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for keeping an eye out on the project. I know I've gained a bunch of new followers on this project, which has been really cool. I just hit 1,000 my time. I don't know what it looks like on your time. Hopefully it's even more. But a bunch of y'all tuned in and kind of like what's going on at least, or want to watch, like I've said before, this idiot built a Chevelle in the cheapest-ish okay way possible over a winter project. Instead of taking 5-10 years doing a build, just get out here, knock it out, put it together. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned on what's next. I have a feeling we're going to start making this thing look pretty again, put some paint on it. So underneath, some coating. That'll probably be in the next video. All right, guys, I appreciate you watching. It means a lot to me. I love it when y'all comment down below. I try to answer every single one. So leave me a comment. Tell me whether I'm doing good or bad and whether you like it and what you'd like to see. Send it out to whoever you think they would enjoy watching it. I know it's not overhauling or some big, gigantic YouTube channel, but I'm trying to document what I got, so I appreciate you watching. All right, catch you guys in the next one. Like, subscribe, do all the fun stuff. The Chevelle is slowly coming together.